Nothing in life will ever make you happy. Nothing can make you happy. We have to look at how this works. Happiness cannot be made. What we notice is that throughout our lives, we have a selection of experiences that seem to make us happy, but every single experience is different. So nothing that we experience can ever be the thing that actually makes us or brings us that happiness. The point is, happiness is not an objective experience, which means that nothing we do or can find in the world, which is made of objects, can bring about a non-objective experience, unless we recognize where happiness actually comes from, which doesn't come from an objective experience. But when we believe it does, we'll constantly, perpetually be searching for it in objective experience, and we will constantly be chasing our own tail. We have to understand happiness as a negative. Happiness isn't describing an object. It isn't describing an experience. It's pointing to that which is removed from our experience. Like we use the word whole. If we have the word whole, we're pointing to something that isn't there. So in the same way, happiness, when we say happiness, we're pointing to what isn't there. And what isn't there in all the moments of happiness that we experience? Resistance. The word no. Not wanting what is happening to happen. It doesn't exist there. So every time that we are accepting our experience, any time that we're saying yes to our experience, any time that our preferences are aligned to what we're experiencing, is every time that we experience happiness or peace. And what people find is that they can either embark on physical material journeys, or they can embark on purpose and this idea that their purpose will bring them happiness. I have a harsh reality about finding happiness through purpose. If your purpose is to help people, if your purpose is to do some form of service for other people, and that's what you use as your vehicle for finding happiness or for being happy and fulfilled, then what you're actually doing is that you are depending on the lack, the suffering, or the needs of others in order to fulfill yourself. So we have to be careful of that tendency. I know it sounds noble, it sounds humble, but it is not. So we need to see that very clearly. So that means that the only other alternative is that we head to spiritual practices and spiritual books and spiritual teachers in order to stop suffering and find happiness. And what we find is that we are continuing to find happiness in objective experience. We're continuing to look for happiness in a world of objects, which can never be the thing that provide us with the happiness that we seek. So what we're looking for really is to recognize the nature of acceptance. The nature of acceptance, or the essence of acceptance. Why is it that some moments I like my experience and some moments I don't? Well, some moments I want what's happening and sometimes I don't want what's happening, right? And it seems like we're not in control of that. Like, I'm not in control of why I like apples. I'm not in control of why I don't like pears. That's just life. And usually we accept that as a truth. It's true, we have preferences, but it doesn't mean we have to suffer the consequences of them. So what we can do is recognize the nature of experience. Why is it that sometimes I want what's happening and sometimes I don't? It's because we are resisting life. And when we resist life, we're basically saying that I do not want life to be taking place. And what's going to happen if you don't want life to take place? It's going to take place anyway, and you're not going to like it. So you're going to try to do something in order to revert or avert or remove this experience. And then we find ourselves doing that for eternity. There is a point where that stops. And that stops when we see that what we essentially are is pure, infinite being, pure consciousness. It is pure awareness. It is the awareness aspect of our experience. And what we're doing is we're subconsciously looking for that awareness, that pure being, through seeking objects. And because we don't have the language, because we don't have the knowledge or the understanding of where it actually exists, we find ourselves perpetually seeking it through experience in an unconscious attempt to finally be back whole with the knowledge of what we are. This is why happiness is not really a human experience, and it's not an objective experience. Happiness is being alive without the resistance to being alive. And when we recognize the source of that, we can't then accept. Acceptance then doesn't exist anymore because it's already the nature of what we are. Like the empty space of the room doesn't accept anything. It is acceptance. It's pure openness. And that is what we are as pure awareness. Nothing can taint awareness. Nothing can touch it. Nothing can do anything to it. And that is you. That is what you are. That's why if you were to be asked if you're alive, you would say yes, because you are aware and you are aware of yourself. And that awareness is pure being. And that's where happiness and peace exists. And we can either take a progressive approach to get there, or we can take a direct approach to get there. To the degree in which we have access, and I say this obviously provisionally as for the sake of language, to the degree we have access to the depth of our being is to the degree that the mind is going to be quiet or active, yet we're still at peace. This is the thing. We're not just here to quiet a mind. We're not here to remove thoughts. We're here to be at peace. And if we're at peace, it doesn't matter what the mind is thinking or doing or what happening in experience. We just want peace. And we can find that peace amongst chaos so long as we are resting in the true nature of what we are, which is pure being. I share this in all of my videos. I share it in my community 5 times a week, and that is completely for free. So you don't have to pay a penny. The link is in the description if you want to check that out. If this is an interesting video to you, make sure to like it. You know that it helps the algorithm, and leave a subscribe if you want to see more videos. Cool. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.